Hello, everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 132. Andrew Eisen here, along with Zachary Knight. Hello, Zachary.
Hello, old man. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. I am 39 now, and I'm feeling a little down about that. But I put on my sexy underwear, so now I feel much better. I'm kidding, of course. I'm wearing my sexy underwear because I haven't done laundry in a while, and it was that or go commando, so had no choice. It's kind of like when you don't do the dishes for a while and you have to bust out the good china, you know?
Oh, we don't do that. We bust out a Tupperware lid, and that's our plate.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anime Momo. Hello.
Yeah.
Um,
So you had to work for 14 hours on your birthday?
it turned out that way, yeah. And
man, that
I
sucks.
already had a 12-hour day, like Wednesday. Time is just kind of blurring together for me now because it's just been one of what's going on is the business has demanded that we release to production next Thursday, come hell or high water. So we're all there working, and because it has to be out in production on Thursday, and it's not ready yet because so, and it was kind of annoying because even though I was at work for 14 and a half hours yesterday, I didn't really start the major work until about 2 in the afternoon. So I started at 8:30 because that's when my first meeting is. And because they're like, you got to get up early and do them. I'm like, all right. So I get up early and they're like, we'll have the build in a couple of hours. I'm like, yeah, okay, a couple of hours. So I trudge into the office and waiting and waiting, and they're like, "Oh, it's going to be an additional hour." I'm like, "Okay, fine." And then another guy tells me, he says, "Oh, when you get it, before you test it, I need to tweak some of the client software. So sit on your thumbs for a bit." I'm like, I take it you need to see what they do, for the developers do, before you can't just tweak the client software now. You have to wait to right. Oh, okay. So it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon before I could finally really start working. I did other things, wrote test cases, helped the helpline do stuff, but yeah, I was there until 11:15, I think.
Wow.
Just because it's you have to be thorough. And on the bright side, I did pass every single bug that was checked in and opened 8 more. So I'm like, oh, yeah, we're going to do this again tomorrow, aren't we? So I was working a little bit this morning, and they don't have a build ready. The next build is not going to be ready until tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be working tomorrow. But I got Disney is doing a promotion. Their Black Panther's back in the theater for a week. As a promotion for both Black History Month and the Oscar nomination, and I got a free ticket. Already seen the movie, but what the hell? Free movie, good movie too. I liked it, so I'm gonna go see that tomorrow afternoon for free. Woot! But anyway, yeah. So I was at work all day on my birthday, and I was there alone because after 7 there's nobody there except one dude vacuuming, and emptying the garbage cans, and he's all looking at me odd. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm working. You work late too. He's like, yeah, but I haven't been here since 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like, it got me there, buddy. But being my birthday, so I finished work about 11:15, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to make the best of the last hour and change of my birthday. So I went to Vaughn's and I bought a slice of carrot cake. I took it home and I put a birthday cake candle in it, and I went and I lit it on fire. Then I blew it out and I ate a piece of carrot cake. So it was a nice way to end my birthday.
Nice. So did you get any?
How is it at the top of the hill since you're not quite over it? Well, it's I can see my house from here. And I got a lot of lovely birthday wishes from my social media friends. So hey, thank you, everybody. I
Yeah.
feel loved.
Yeah. So did you get any gifts? Or get yourself any gifts? Other
Uh,
than carrot cake?
just the carrot cake.
Okay.
In the like early morning, I was thinking, should I do something for my birthday? Like maybe do a bonus game stream, or maybe try something weird like let's all watch an anime together, or something like that. And then as at work, I'm like, well, that's not
That's
happening.
not gonna happen. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Jordan.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
so I'm tired.
Yeah.
For some reason, I couldn't sleep. I mean, I only got, well, I slept okay, but then I had like a really bad dream, uh, where I died, and
Oh.
but in like
Okay.
an existentially terrifying way. Um, I think I was like fighting Thanos and I just lost, which, you know, I'm just me. So, and the weird thing is Thanos shot me. Like you're Thanos and you shot me with a gun. I'm
Well,
like,
he's
well,
used a gun before, I think.
I don't
At
know,
least some kind of alien laser weapon, death ray type gun, I think.
yeah, no, this was like an AK. He just
Oh, really?
he just shot me. He just gut shot me. I'm like, well, I'm done. So I'm laying there dying, and he doesn't quite do the snap. He essentially just blows up the universe, and so all I can do is lay there and just kind of hide my head in my arm and squint my close my eyes and just hope it's really quick and painless. But then I'm laying there, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm actually kind of calm. I mean, dying sucks, but I mean, at least it's going to be just boom and we're gone. And I started thinking, it's kind of interesting. Is it even possible to notice when your conscious self just ceases? So, hence, we get into the
Yeah.
existentially terrifying thing. But then I realized, for some reason, in my dream, this was slow because it wasn't just happening, it was just starting to get warmer and then hotter. And I'm like, oh, this isn't going to be just a boom and we're dead. This is going to be really suffering and violent until we finally. And then I woke up, I'm like, what was that all about? I'm going
Nice.
to the gym. Now I've had dreams where I've died before, but that's the first one I've had where it was like prolonged and painful and terrifying. That I woke up going, the hell was that all about, subconscious? Jeez.
It was your subconscious, just trying to get across to you. Now that you're an old man,
That's
it's
right.
nothing but suffering from here on out.
That's right. Your bits are gonna droop. You're gonna have aches everywhere, and if you ever fall, you're gonna break your hip and die.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, so that was my morning. But and then Filmstruck ended a while ago. For anyone who didn't hear the story, Filmstruck was a Netflix-like streaming service that had for classic movies, Criterion stuff, the Turner Classic Movies, old Warner Brothers stuff. And Warner Brothers said this isn't making all the money, so they pulled the plug on it. And I just messed up the story. The story is I bought it for my sister for her birthday, a year subscription. Her birthday's October 1st. They pulled the plug like October 20th. So I spent like $100 on a year subscription, and they're like, oh, did I do the social media dance? I did not. Social media dance. There we go.
All right.
So that sucked. But Criterion said we're gonna start our own Criterion channel. Ha ha! And they did, and it's slightly cheaper. So I re-upped, and happy birthday to my sister. So we're on the family plan, which doesn't officially exist, but I called them up and I said, hey, I want to get my sister and I. Do you have a family plan? Because my sister and I both want this thing, and they're like, just use the same password. It's fine. And I'm like, are you sure? And they're like, yeah, it's fine. I'm like, all right. So we do. So
Nice.
they haven't officially launched yet. They launch in April, I think. But until then, they're going to do a new movie every week. This week is Mickey and Frankie, Mickey and Nicky, Peter Falk, John Cassavetes film from the 70s. And I watched it. I'd never heard of it before. I watched it, and it was a really difficult sit because it sucks a lot. That's really bad. I'd actually be interested in discussing the film with people who like it so I could figure out why. The problem was, is I really, both of the characters are just lousy people. I mean, they're both gangsters, so, but they're not like fun gangsters, like, or interesting. They're just crappy. And John Cassavetes' character is just utterly insufferable. And you're thinking, I hope so. Why is Peter Falk hanging around this character? Because I would shoot him or at least walk away. And I think the problem with the film is that they don't really give you a backstory on what's going on or what the relationship between these two are until like halfway through the movie. And by that point, I did not care. So that one was a dud.
Okay.
Matthew says, "Why watch bad movies?" I feel, I don't know. There's a part of me that, and this lessens as I get older and closer to death. When I have less and less time, I grow more and more impatient with films. But television shows, I used to give like 5 episodes. Movies, books, I would give at least 50 pages, if not 100. Films are only an hour and a half, 2 hours. I feel like I can give the film 2 hours of my day. This one's an hour and 45 minutes or something like that. So, but I actually had to stop it a couple of times just because it was so damn boring and I just didn't want to watch it anymore. And there's a point where you're like, well, just stop watching it. Why are you doing that to yourself? It's one of the reasons I haven't watched Daredevil season 3 or Punisher season 2 is because I feel I have to watch Iron Fist season 2 and I don't want to.
You don't have to.
I know I don't have to, but I'm going to, and I just which actually I guess this brings us to our first topic, which is kind of a lame topic because we have no topics this week. But it's that Zachary is officially the better fanboy because he's seen Iron Fist 2 and Punisher 2 and
Daredevil 3.
Daredevil 3. Thank you.
Yes.
So, congrats. I had to hand in my superhero fanboy card. But Zachary gets to keep his for now. I may re-earn it, but let's talk about Iron Fist first.
Iron Fist.
Is it an improvement, at least on the first season, which I thought was dreadful?
Yes, Iron Fist season 2 definitely wins the most improved award or most improved series award for these Marvel Netflix shows.
Oh, good.
It's still not super great, but it's a lot more focused and not as all over the place as it was before. Like with season 1, the best part of it was the Joy and Ward Meacham show. That was the best part of season 1,
which says a lot about season 1, doesn't it? But I agree. The Meacham's B story, I was like, you know what? Danny Rand can jump in the lake. Just make the show about them. I'm good because that show. I'd have to ask my sister if she still has the voicemail, but I stopped like in the middle of episode 4 and angrily ranted on my sister's voicemail while I was out on a walk because I was so annoyed with Danny Rand. I'm like, and I stopped and I go out for a walk and I'm calling my sister and I hit her voicemail. I'm like, I can't stand this. I'll have to ask if she still has that voicemail because it's pretty funny.
Yeah, this season, Danny Rand is a lot closer to the Danny Rand we saw in that episode of
Luke Cage
season 2.
Right? Yeah, he's very appropriately zen.
Yeah, he's a lot closer to that. He's still kind of self-deprecating in how he talks about himself and everything, and he's working through a lot of stuff that he does, and it's not. I don't think it's a spoiler, but spoiler warnings in case anybody wants to know. Danny does lose the Iron Fist in this. It's a little kind of, they kind of hand wave exactly how it happened, but there it has to do with a bowl and the Crane sisters who have some kind of magical gift and to transfer power from chi from one person to another, so he loses it to Davos, his buddy brother from Kunlun, and so most of the season, this season is only 10 episodes, so they really pared it down.
That's the
It's
only
still
one that's done that, which probably other than Defenders, which is 8. But,
yeah. But it still drags a little bit in the middle, but not as much as it did in season 1. So half the season is Danny basically retraining himself, because it has a slightly it has a an addiction type setup here, where Danny's basically addicted to the Iron Fist and just uses it to use it and that kind of stuff. And so he's training to fight. He has to retrain his mind and body to fight without it, and then he comes to the realization that he's probably just not supposed to be the Iron Fist towards the end of it.
You think?
And so yeah, it's a much more.
Davos gets the Iron Fist because he's the bad guy. Does it like glow evil red instead of good
Yes,
guy?
it does.
Oh, it does.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
but it glows based on, I guess, the aura of the person who's wielding it, because
She is like a mood ring.
yeah, but yeah, it glows based on the aura of the person, and so Danny is yellow, Davos is red, and spoiler warnings: the person who eventually gets it glows white, and so. But so yeah, it's a much more personal story, like
I'm
just
gonna guess
an
it's
actual.
Colleen.
Yes, it's Colleen. Yeah.
Well, I mean, who else would it be?
Yeah.
But yay! Now we can have the Colleen and Misty show.
Oh, and they tease that at the end, because
Is Misty in it?
yeah, she's in
Well,
it.
that's good.
Yeah, she's a good part of it. She kicks butt, and she does some impressive stuff with her robot arm. And
one of my favorite parts of Luke Cage season 2 is before she gets her prosthetic arm, she gets in a bar fight, and she just hauls off with a full roundhouse, but she doesn't have her arm anymore. So she
right hook, roundhouses with your feet.
She just and she's like, "Oh, oops."
Yeah.
That was good.
That was an excellent fight scene.
I like that gag.
Yeah.
That was funny.
And there's a lot of good fight scenes in this. They put Danny in a hood and a mask a lot more often in this.
We're gonna use a
so
stunt
that
double.
they can use a stunt double, somebody who actually knows martial arts. And
all due respect to the actor, but he's not a martial artist, so.
Yeah, and that was a big shame, and so it was really good, and we learn a lot about Colleen and Misty. We get some good characterizations with them, and then like the last episode, Misty and Colleen were talking, and it's like, we should get together more often, and maybe are you, because Misty's in Luke Cage season 2, we saw she's on track to become captain, and Colleen's just like, "Are you tied to this captain job? We could work together or something," and which was kind of funny. But yeah, we don't get to see that, unfortunately.
Man, I would really love to see where they were going to go with Luke Cage season 3.
Yeah, that was another one. I was bummed at the end of that, and it's like, were they
Jordan
really?
She-Hulk ever showed up? I doubt it.
No,
In
no,
Daredevil. That's the thing.
no.
I
We
want a
never
She-Hulk.
saw.
Maybe she'll be on the Disney streaming service, whatever they eventually call it, where they're moving all their toys. 'Cause
Yeah,
I think that could be, just
Jennifer Walters. Yeah, they never
yeah,
had a Jennifer Walters in any episode of this. So
yeah.
yeah,
Because to do She-Hulk right is just prohibitively expensive. So
yeah, because you can't really just throw green makeup on any actress because she grows like 1.5 feet when she's in She-Hulk
I
form.
guess you could just get a very muscular actor to do it and paint her green, makeup and lights, and just kind of force perspective it.
Yeah,
Because yeah, you're right. She is like 7 feet tall.
yeah.
Um, but I mean, at the very least, She-Hulk in a lot of in a lot of the way she's drawn, unless she's Savage She-Hulk, but typically if she's in control, she's just super fit and really damn tall.
Yeah.
Now, you can get women of that body proportion. You'd be really hard to get someone who's 7 feet tall, though. That's
Oh
probably
yeah,
really
that's
uncommon.
impossible.
So put her on apple boxes and forced perspective stuff could work. I don't think you would need to CG She-Hulk unless she goes savage.
Yeah,
Um, but
yeah.
I don't know. It
Jordan
really
says,
depends on what they want to do for the
yeah.
show.
And Jordan brings up Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's
Well, sure,
true.
but
Yeah,
she's just green. She's not a
yeah, she's just
bodybuilder.
green. She's not. Yeah, she's not She-Hulk. Size, and that's a big difference. And I guess if unless you can actually somehow find a 7 foot woman, muscular woman, they would have to do the forced perspective like they did with the Hobbits and the Lord of the Rings movies, and yeah, and that's just and that can get kind of tiresome throughout. That's why Gandalf isn't with the
You
Fellowship.
know,
You know,
if
but
they do it more like some of the She-Hulk runs where she's not ripping off her clothes and running around smashing villains, if they just do a Law and Order She-Hulk edition, they could just have the actor in a suit and just pad the thing, you know. And then if
yeah,
she ever occasionally has to, show an arm or a leg, they can use a body double or some type of. If you've seen the He-Man and Skeletor commercials where they do the Dirty Dancing thing, they have two guys in muscle suits, but they look pretty damn good, especially for a commercial budget. So they might be able to do something like that.
yeah.
But yeah, Jordan, you are right. She is a
She's a
lawyer like
lawyer.
Daredevil, and they have crossed in the courtroom before. So in the
Yeah,
comics. So
yeah.
I'm
But
not going to be able to name drop the titles of the stories, but that has happened.
yeah, but yeah. So yeah, Iron Fist was pretty much its own thing. We had Misty was in there, so that's the only real crossover with any of the characters from the other stuff.
Are the Meachums in it?
Well, the Meachums are in it, but I'm talking about crossovers with any of the other Netflix
Yeah.
shows, because I don't believe no Karen wasn't in it. There was no Karen Page in it. Foggy wasn't in it. Yeah, it was just Misty was the only crossover character. So
Jack says
uh,
if they want a fit actor to play She-Hulk, just look for an MMA fight or something. Sure,
yeah, but
you
then you
could
got to get an MMA fighter that actually.
MMA, professional wrestling, a lot of the background cast of Wonder Woman.
Well,
So
I
in
guess
the Amazon
I don't know.
or
Maybe
actual
you could
Amazon.
get. Yeah,
So
I don't know.
there are a lot of super fit women. Hell, I know several myself, just
Yeah,
from the gym. Although I don't know any who I know a lot of women who have that big, muscly, bulky build. None of them are taller than me, though.
yeah,
So you'd have to do something about the height. But I know several women of the appropriate build. So I'm sure a casting agency could find a few
yeah.
themselves. So
Yeah. So I watched that, and yeah, sorry to say, Jennifer Walters never shows up in anything. And then I watched Daredevil season 3, and it's definitely better than the second half of season 2, because season 1 was more of a Punisher.
they don't bring Elektra back, do they?
No, Elektra's gone. He kind of pines over her.
Respect to the actor, she did her job, but oh
Yeah.
man,
He pines over her for a little bit in the first couple of episodes, but it's mostly just he's disoriented and everything, and so he's just kind of trying to put all the pieces back together of what actually happened after the at the end of Defenders.
so
But
is Bullseye in this one?
yes, yeah, Bullseye's in it. He
Is it better than the Affleck movie?
Oh, the leaps and
Oh,
bounds better.
good.
Yeah.
That was
Um,
like, what are you doing?
yeah. The
No.
Bullseye in this is he's an FBI agent, and he's crazy. But he had been trying to have a semblance of a real life and everything. But yeah, he's excellent marksmanship. He can throw pretty much anything with perfect accuracy. Like there's a couple of scenes where he picks up one scene he picks up a couple of crystal crystal rods from a wall sconce and throws those things like 30 feet with perfect precision and everything. And he's excellent with a trick shot. Like there was a scene where he was firing at somebody who was in the room above him using reflections off of glass and ricocheting them ricocheting the bullets off of the fire escape on the building across the alleyway, and pretty darn crazy stuff that he was doing. And Wilson Fisk gets into his head and brings him to his side and has him impersonate Daredevil.
Ooh, Fisk is back. Nice.
Yeah, Fisk is back. So that's he gets.
I think if
becomes
we
an
see one
FBI
character from
informant.
the TV series show up in the films, it's going to be Fisk.
Yeah, I think Fisk would be a great addition, especially for the Spider-Man franchise. Because growing up in the '90s with the Spider-Man TV show or cartoon show, Kingpin was one of the main bad guys in that, and there was a lot of episodes with Kingpin and Spider-Man and all that. So definitely would enjoy seeing more of Kingpin because he is great. And
Oh yeah,
Ollie, what's the actor's name now? I can't.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio. He does the role with perfection.
Yeah.
He's exactly what I picture the Kingpin being, and and no, and I really enjoyed Ben Affleck movie. Golly, I can't remember actors' names worth the guy who played Kingpin in that.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah, Michael Clark Duncan. Yeah, Michael Clark Duncan did a really good job in the role. And
a huge guy.
oh, he is a
Vincent D'Onofrio is a big guy, but Michael Clark Duncan was just
yeah, he was
like
huge,
6'5"
and I think he did a great job. And it was it was a clever a casting too. Yeah, because Kingpin's a white guy. Traditionally and has never changed. But casting Michael Clark Duncan in the role was just to me it was just the perfect casting. If you were going to change the race of a villain of that stature, they couldn't have picked a better guy. But yeah, so with Daredevil season 3, he basically hangs up his Matt Murdock persona. He says, okay, I'm done trying to be Matt Murdock, and so he just becomes the Daredevil and goes back to the black suit, the sweats and the whatever the mask was that he had on, and he's like, he's done with the red suit.
Like, yeah, but the red suit has a lot of padding and, helps you bruise less, buddy. I still might want to,
Yeah.
spray paint it black if you wish, but
Yeah, but so it's basically the story is just him trying to take down the Kingpin once and for all, because the Kingpin became an informant for the FBI and basically used his status as an informant to take down his competition, his criminal competition, and and Daredevil and Karen Page, they're both just like, doesn't anybody see what's going on here? He's just taking advantage of the FBI to reestablish himself as the kingpin of crime in New York City, and it's like nobody would believe them, and so the whole season is just that whole thing where Kingpin is trying to get rid of Daredevil, Daredevil's trying to get rid of Kingpin, and so a really good, again, and this is one of those things. It's like with these three new seasons, is just they really focus down on the main cast of characters instead of trying to make some broader story about some larger conspiracy or whatever. It's just these are the characters. This is how they butt up against each other, and we gotta, we're gonna play with that, and so yeah, it's the addition of Bullseye. We never see a nod to, well, the only nod we see to the Bullseye's classic costume is in a flashback when he was a kid. He was playing Little League baseball, and the team symbol was a target, and he had that on his ball cap, and so yeah, that was the only nod to the classic Bullseye costume. But wouldn't mind it, seeing him back, because he's definitely still around. He doesn't die at the end in this season or in this show, so that's always nice.
Yeah. Okay, so how about Punisher 2?
Punisher 2.
I was disappointed by the publicity shots I saw of Jigsaw. I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in Jigsaw too, because
it's psychological. His mind is fragmented. No, come on. Give him scarred face. Come on.
Yeah, and it's just like, the problem with that is that, they give him scars around the outside of his face, like he has some scars going up his cheek and across his forehead and temple and stuff, and it's just like, you couldn't give him at least one scar going all the way across his face, and they have a throwaway line in there about how, the plastic surgery did they did a pretty good job with the plastic surgery restoring your face, and
yeah, now you just have a cool scar instead of being all disfigured.
Yeah, which I guess is good for the actor, because he doesn't have to go through as much prosthetics, putting all that makeup on and stuff. But they do put him in a mask, like he wears a mask that's all fractured and cracked and everything.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't want to do the makeup that much, just have him in the mask most of the time.
Yeah, and but yeah, I was disappointed in the face, but as much as I would have liked to have seen him closer to the comics one, the Jigsaw from
Warzone,
that was over the top, I thought.
Yes, and deliberately so. I didn't need it to go that far.
Yeah,
Warzone was more overtly comic booky. These Netflix shows are more grounded, but
so I was hoping for something
up a bit more.
Yeah, I was hoping for something in the middle of the two extremes they went with, because at least they gave him scars, but yeah, it's just after the beating he got in season 1.
Yeah,
It's
he got
just like,
shot in the face and then smashed into a mirror and then raked down the broken glass. I'm like, oh, he's gonna look bad. It's like, no, I
yeah,
got a little scar here and a little one here, and that's it. It's like, what?
yeah, because it doesn't even look like he had skin grafts. Like there's no coloration issues between, because usually when you get a skin graft, if you've seen people with skin grafts, that section of their skin is
Yeah.
always a different color from the rest of the skin in the surrounding area. It's like we don't see any of that. um,
Yeah, there's no grafting. He just has a couple scars. He's
yeah,
fine.
but I think with this one, Punisher is definitely still one of my favorite Marvel series, Netflix series.
Hmm.
So I do like it, and again, like it's a more grounded personal story. There's two plots going on, and Punisher's wrapped up in both of them. One of them is the Jigsaw side of things, where um, I've been told Miles Spider-Man isn't
I was
black.
responding to it. Yeah, his father's black, his mother's Latino.
Yeah, she's a Puerto Rican actually. So yeah,
Ah,
specifically. Um, but yeah, so there's the Jigsaw plot line where Jigsaw, Billy Russo, is he's still in the hospital. He's basically, you know, uh, pretty badly traumatized from the end of Punisher season 1. He has he's lost a lot of his memories, and then there's a doctor who's trying to help him you know rebuild his mind essentially. And then you have the other plot where Punisher just happens to be in a bar where there's this girl who's being hunted by a bunch of shady people. And we learn later on that she has a bunch of pictures that these people want, and because they expose something that they're trying to do. And, and so Punisher versus Jigsaw. That would actually
from
be
the
a
Saw
pretty
movie.
from the Saw movies. Yeah, that would actually be kind of entertaining. Um, but so he's trying to protect her and get to the bottom of that conspiracy while also trying to hunt down Billy Russo and just put him down. And so the story kind of alternates between the two, where it's like, okay, we're making progress on the Billy thing. Oh, we hit a roadblock there. Now we're making progress on the other one, and it works. Like, nothing ever feels out of order. Nothing ever feels forced. When it comes to a switch between focus, between when the Punisher has to change focus on his time, and and so it works. And I think that he the girl that he works with, and I can't even remember her name. Amy, I think, is what her character's name is. They have really good chemistry. She plays. It's almost like a father-daughter relationship, and which to me, I think works with him because the Punisher is in this whole thing because he lost his family, and so she kind of becomes his surrogate family in this season.
Hmm.
And it's not a cheesy or forced type of thing. He's just he takes her on reluctantly at first, just because he's protecting her from these guys that are hunting her. But then he actually begins to build an actual relationship with her, and it's fun to watch that relationship build. And and again, just like in season 1, we rarely see him in the actual skull vest that
Hmm.
he made. He wears it like twice in
Hmm.
the whole season, and I was very disappointed in that. But I guess there wasn't a whole lot of punishing. You could say that in this one.
Oh,
Because he doesn't go out and he's not out hunting criminals in this thing. He's hunting Billy Russo and the guys that are that are after this girl, but he can't just wear the skull vest and walk around New York City
That's
gunning these people down. He has to actually do some detective work, and
You know,
which
they
is actually kind of fun too, is watching
yeah.
him do the detective work. So
My favorite the Punisher moment from the Netflix shows is I think in the second season of Daredevil, where he goes into a pawn shop and he's just getting the stuff he needs. And he turns around, he's walking out, and the pawn shop, hey, can't you seen anything else? I've got child porn. He's like, and Frank Castle's locks the door. He's like, I just, I, d- he's, I, d- I just, he's like, don't do it, dude, because I just want to go home. He's like, all right, gonna have to punish you. Pull the, it turns around.
yeah,
That was great. That he doesn't wanna, but he's like,
he's like, now I have
I have
to.
to. Yeah, I knew you were a schmuck. I was just gonna walk out the front door, but no.
You had to draw my attention. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a good scene. There's another similar scene, and in the second season here, and he's working with the girl. She has a bunch. She actually has rolls of film, um, you know, and which is actually kind of funny for a show based in 2018.
Oh,
That she actually has rolls
actual
of
rolls
film.
of film,
Yeah.
huh?
And so they have to get it developed, and they can't just take it to Kinko's or
No,
Walmart
they
or
don't
whatever
do
to
that anymore.
develop it. But so they track down this sketchy photo shoot guy, and his primary thing is taking pictures of young girls, and he's got the photo lab in the building in the same building as the studio, and so the girl, she dresses up in this romper and backpack and pigtails, and has a sucker in her mouth and is doing the whole innocent schoolgirl act, and so they go in there, and the guy is taking a tour. He's like, yeah, we do everything in house. There's no internet involved, nothing. And you can take pictures, do whatever you want. Here in the studio, and then the first thing the Punisher does is, like, once he gets in there, is he pulls out this sawed-off shotgun and smacks the guy across the face, and then the girl goes in to develop the film in the dark room, and the whole time she's in there, he's just Punisher's just breaking the guy's arms, and just giving him a royal beat down, and then she finally comes out, and once she's done developing the film, she comes out, and Punisher's about to just stick the shotgun up to the guy's head and blow it off, and she's like, no, you can't just kill him. Sure, he's a creep, but that doesn't mean he deserves to die. And Punisher's just like, John Berthol, he's just all,
He's like, yeah, it does. Doesn't
and
it?
he's like, come on, he needs to die. He's a creep. He's a criminal. He's a pervert and all this stuff. And she's like, no. And so she convinces him not to kill him.
I'm sure
And so
he's in error of his ways.
yeah. And so and as they're walking out, the Punisher's just all pouting and angry that he didn't get to kill the guy, and she's like, fine, if it'll make you feel better, you could burn this place to the ground. And the next scene is them walking out with smoke billowing out the door, and then the guy is just like hobbling out with his arms flopping off to the sides, coughing, and it's a great scene. But and then later on, he's just like, this, after he let somebody else go, he's like, this is the second time I didn't get to kill somebody, or the second time I let somebody live, and I hate it.
It's just not me. Jordan has an interesting concept. What if the Saw movies, but instead of five random people getting stuck in the trap gauntlet, it's the Justice League or the Avengers?
Well, and that's not a new idea. We've had lots of things like that in the comic books. Arcade is one character that comes to mind. He's usually a X-Men villain, and he has a tendency to set up things like that. And I think Mysterio's done that in the past too.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so that's something that's not uncommon, but yeah, nothing as generally violent as the Saw movies.
Yeah.
It's generally just setups where the superheroes have a way out, and it's not not anything that's going to make us think it's lethal, because nobody ever actually dies.
Except
Um,
Uncle Ben.
yeah, except Uncle Ben. Yeah.
Probably the only character who's never gotten
Who,
better.
well,
I
Batman's
can't.
parents, but yeah.
Oh, that's true. Well,
Generally, it's
Marvel.
parental figures that
Yeah.
always die and never come back.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So did you see Into the Spider-Verse?
I have not seen that yet. I want to see it. Have you?
I did, and I
Yeah.
thought
How
it was
was that?
very okay.
You thought it was okay,
I
huh?
thought it was all right. It was not. I did not enjoy it as much as I was expecting, which bummed me out. I still liked it, but I walked out going, "It's all right. I
Yeah.
liked it." But I keep seeing, even to this day, like a month after it came out. I think it came out in December, right? I'm still seeing people on social media just singing this. Oh, it's the best Spider-Man movie ever. It's the best superhero movie ever. It's the best film of 2018. I'm like, I don't agree at all. I mean, I liked it. I just
Yeah.
didn't think it was that great. So I'll be interested to hear what your thoughts.
Yeah. So
On,
I guess yeah, how does it compare to the last season of the '90s Spider-Man,
I
where you don't remember that?
I
Do you
can't.
remember?
I can't. I remember the
Yeah.
'90s Spider-Man. I can't remember specifically what was in the last season.
Well, the last season was when Madam Web and the Beyonder
Oh yeah, yeah,
tested
yeah. I like
Spider-Man,
that
and
well enough.
yeah, because that one they did Battle World,
Yeah, and
and
he's
then
it's like, choose the heroes you want. He's like, I want uh,
the
the
Fantastic
Fantastic
Four,
Four and
Storm, Iron Man,
yeah,
yeah,
and I was like,
and
yeah, that was fun.
yeah,
When I,
and then they did that, and then they did the multiverse Spider-Man as the second half of that, where yeah they had a six-armed Spider-Man, Spider-Man with Doc Ock arms,
hmm.
Iron Spider. Or I guess he wasn't really Iron Spider, but he was Spider-Man with an Iron Man suit that he built himself. And what other Spider? Scarlet Spider was another one. And I think that was it. Oh no, TV Spider-Man, like TV actor Spider-Man. But yeah,
All right. Well, so okay, let's move to a new topic. It's such that it is, and I guess the new topic is DC, because we learned in a bunch of articles, although I saw this on the Hollywood Reporter, and what was interesting is most people seem to be picking up on Ben Affleck's not going to be Batman anymore.
Batman's not coming until 2022, I believe.
Matt Reeves' The Batman is 2021 in June, and Suicide Squad, which James Gunn is doing, is going to be on August 6th of that year. And but no one seems to be focusing.
Directing as well. So.
Yeah, but no one seems to be focusing on the single most important piece of superhero news, is that DC Super Pets is coming out. They're making a DC Super Pets movie, and that's coming out in May of 2021, at least for now. And I have to admit, this is potentially my most anticipated superhero movie now, because
yeah, it's
DC Super Pets. Come on.
Yeah,
Unless
it's an
they use-
interesting
Unless
choice.
they use Beppo the monkey, because I hate monkeys, disgusting creatures.
Yeah.
Any of the others,
generally, the super pets.
he's not even a monkey. He's a Kryptonian monkey experiment. He's not even an Earth monkey. He
Yeah.
doesn't count. No Beppo.
Yeah. Well, and I'm trying to think of all the DC super pets they have because we got Crypto, and
Mm,
then Ace,
no.
Batman's dog, and then isn't there a cat?
Yeah, Streaky,
Yeah,
who runs around nude. Hence, no, Streaky has like a stripe on its side. That's Supergirl's. Supergirl has a bunch. Supergirl has Streaky the cat and Comet the horse. I think.
yeah,
I
something
think
like
that's her
that.
horse too. That's not fair. She has two, but I think she lives on the Kent's farm, so I guess that's
Yeah,
why. Um, there's all I think.
and then you got the Squirrel Green Lantern, which I
Yeah,
guess counts sort
that's
of,
that's
but
not a
it's a
pet
sentient
though.
being.
That's
So
just a
yeah,
squirrel-like alien. I would be
and
fine if it was just Crypto, Ace, and Streaky, and maybe Comet.
yeah.
And doesn't Wonder Woman have like a kangaroo or something?
Well,
I don't.
they're in these DC Super Pet shorts. There's a
Yeah, I saw that one
kangaroo
in
with
the
Wonder Woman.
cartoon that they were doing, and I'm like, I don't remember that from the comics, but
Yeah, I don't remember that one either.
maybe.
But this is a lot like the Animal Avengers that was around recently. At one point where there was Thor
Aquaman's
Frog and
everyone in the sea. Every seahorse, every octopus, every shark, every fish,
yeah.
all of them.
I think it should just be the
Aquaman
octopus
super,
though.
it's just like Magikarp, it just kind of flops around after him.
Yeah, it should be that octopus. What Toto? No, not
The
Toto.
drummer octopus in
Yeah,
the
the drummer octopus in the
yeah.
movie, because that's an actual character in the comics, and he trained him to play musical instruments, and
Right.
yeah,
But here's what I want. I want the DC Super Pets to go after an actual main DC villain like Luthor or someone.
no, they should go
Not
after.
Luthor's dog. I don't want it the super pets against the villain pets. That's dumb. Don't
It
do
needs to
that.
be. It needs to be. Let me look this up. Red Lantern Cat.
Or
What's
here's
that
an
guy's
idea.
name?
Have Crypto.
Dexstar. They need to go after Dexstar. He's that cat
Oh,
on the
that's
Red
one of the Red
Lanterns.
Lanterns, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Here's a better idea. Cheetah. She's going to be in Wonder
there
Woman
we go.
anyway.
Cheetah. Yeah.
So Crypto and Ace and Streaky are going after Cheetah, but Streaky feels kind of conflicted about it because they're both cats, and she's thinking that there's inner team conflict here because Crypto and Ace are like, let's go get her. And it's like you're being racist because she's a cat and you're dogs. They're like, no, you're being racist because you think that.
It should be no. I think the villain should be a team up between Cheetah and Dexstar because we're still keeping with the
Okay.
cat thing, and it's just two cat villains teaming up to and or maybe Cheetah and Gorilla Grodd. Something with the animals. Hey, and if they have a cameo with Detective Chimp, I'm all for that too. But, yeah, I haven't watched much of these animated, like the DC Super Pets, and
Are they web exclusives or is there
yeah,
actual
I don't think there's an actual show because I know they have the
I just saw like
the super girl the
the
girl heroes
high school
in
one.
high
Yeah.
school. They have that, and I haven't watched much of that just because
I watched the
I
first
find it.
2 episodes. I'm like, yeah, it's not for me. I mean, it's not aimed at me. It's not a bad show. It's just not for me.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
they just don't.
even way younger than
And they don't have a DC cartoon show that I really care for right now, other than Young Justice,
Mm.
and who knows if that's going to get a 4th season after this. But yeah, they don't have a DC cartoon
Teen
show
Titans
that I
Go.
really. Yeah, that's not for me.
The movie looks good though. I want to see the movie. I think the movie
Yeah.
looks funny.
But Marvel really doesn't have any cartoons right now either. They've got their Avengers show that's going on right now, but that one's just
They're
not as
getting
good.
rid of Earth's Mightiest Heroes and replacing it with
Oh
a
yeah,
superior product.
Yeah, definitely. The most recent season I think is an improvement over the first couple of seasons, but it's just nowhere near as good, quality writing wise as Earth's Mightiest Heroes. And do they have a Spider-Man show anymore? Because the last one
Yeah,
they did was
I don't know if
Ultimate
it's still running, but
Spider-Man.
they like last year they started the one with the
Oh yeah, that's
Spider-Man.
right. They did that.
I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, that's right. I forget what that one's
But
called
I
now.
didn't care for it. I watched
Yeah, I didn't care for it either because again, it's just they put all the villains in high school. They put all the
it, did I?
yeah,
Oh,
most of them are. It's like Doc Ock is a teacher at Peter's school, and Vulture's a kid in the
that
school, and
Connors and Dr. Octavius kind of make sense because they're both scientists. They might be working as professors in a college or something like that.
yeah.
That works, but I mean, if the Vulture is there too, and Sandman is like the janitor or something, it's like, oh, come on now.
Yeah, we got people in the comments talking about video games and yeah. Let's see. Recently, we've got Injustice, which I hear is really good. Batman
Two of them,
Arkham
actually.
series. Yeah, those are really good. And then you have this Marvel Spider-Man or the ultimate, the Spider-Man game,
Sony's Marvel's
which
Spider-Man, the video game.
yeah, but that is apparently really good as well. But other than those three series or games slash series, there hasn't really been a whole lot of really good comics
There's
video
another
games.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance that's, I think, a Switch exclusive, at least for now.
Is there?
I think
Hmm.
they announced it a little while
Yeah.
ago, and
Hmm.
everyone was like, "Switch exclusive, really?"
Yeah.
I think people were
Oh.
also Marvel Ultimate Alliance, really? You're bringing that back? All right.
Yeah, I haven't played too many superhero games. It's like I remember playing the X-Men game on the NES.
I played the X-Men arcade game. Does that count?
Yeah, the X-Men arcade game. That's I consider that pretty high bar to if you can do better than the X-Men arcade game,
Who should
you've
we
got a
put in
pretty
this
good
game?
series on.
Captain America. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or no, it was X-Men. I'm sorry. So Wolverine. Yeah, of course. And
Cyclops. All
Cyclops.
right.
Yeah, of course. And Dazzler.
Storm.
What? Dazzler.
Dazzler.
What?
Yeah, Dazzler was just a weird addition to that
I
game.
mean,
But I
she has
always,
her hands, but she does seem like the odd X-Men out.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, NES X-Men sucked. The only way I was ever actually able to play that was to
Mm.
play
Mhm.
as Nightcrawler with an infinite life code on Genie on the with the game Genie because it was just super hard.
Let's see. Some of the Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I don't remember which one it is, but one of the Super NES Spider-Man games is pretty good. I don't
yeah.
remember if it's
There was
Ultimate
definitely
Carnage
some
or one of the others.
Ultimate Carnage. Yeah, I think that was one of the really good ones. On the Game Boy, they had Spider-Man X-Men versus Arcade or something like that.
You know, it's really
That one
bad.
was pretty good for
Spider-Man
the
and
Game
the
Boy.
Atari 2600. Uh,
Yeah, from what I've seen, it's actually really good for the limits that the Atari 2600 had. Um, Superman 64.
it was
Oh
really good.
man,
Oh, I'll check it out.
yeah.
That's
Uh,
that's an interesting game because it's one of those goes down in history of one of the worst games of all times. And usually, when you look at those games like ET for the Atari 2600, and if you look at them through honest eyes, it's like if you look at ET for Atari 2600, which I just stated, it's not that bad. It's not good, but it's not that. It's not
yeah,
the worst game ever made. It's eh. It's playable. It's kind of frustrating.
it's you
It's not
can
really
beat
well
it.
designed.
Yeah,
I've beaten it. It's not great. It's not even
yeah,
good. It's not the worst thing ever. Superman 64 is one of the only ones that actually lives up to the anti-hype. It's
yeah.
it's really
It's
that
that
bad.
bad.
It's
Yeah,
phenomenally bad. It's fascinatingly bad.
Jack Kamen brings up the landfill with ET games, and actually there was a documentary where some guys filmed them digging up that landfill. They got permission to go and excavate it, and
that was less the game being bad and more of a confluence of the game coming out and the game's crash at the same time.
Yeah. But yeah, there. See, X-Men Legends is another good video game.
It is true. It's out there. They had overstock of that game.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find the name of the ET landfill.
I have ET for
documentary.
I don't have
Let's
it out
see.
here. I'd have to dig it out.
Atari Game Over is a 2014 documentary film about North American video game crash, and using the Atari video game burial excavation as a starting point. Yeah, look up Atari Game Over and watch that. That's got a really good. It's a really good investigation into the crash of 1983, and yeah, they do pull out. Dig up those things. They actually auctioned off a few complete, complete in box,
smashed, but yeah,
and gross looking cartridge, games that they dug up.
In the dirt for 30 years.
Yeah,
under moldy bananas.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So anyway, DC Super Pets coming to a theater. It looks like DC's going to take the mantle from here, Marvel, and just run with it. It's like I heard someone on social media mention something funny that is. I wouldn't be surprised if it's true. I think he said something like along the lines of, "There's probably a bunch of studio execs at Warner Brothers right now going, wait a minute, we own superheroes, but it's their pets, dogs and cats, and we haven't made like 15 direct-to-video movies about this yet. What? Why didn't anyone tell me we had this property?" So
yeah.
So all right, one last thing. It's a small thing, but there was a story which I traced to as best I could. IGN Brazil, which interviewed, although the interview isn't printed, and I'm also running the page through Google Translate because I don't speak Portuguese. Not because I have anything wrong with it, because I never learned it. It's one of those languages that sounds a lot like Spanish, and then I realize I can't understand what they're saying, and I get confused, and I realize, because it's not Spanish. That's why I don't understand it at all. But anyway, so apparently IGN Brazil spoke with a scenario artist from NetherRealm Studios who confirmed that Kronika, the big bad of Mortal Kombat 11, she's the final boss, the one who's doing all the time shenanigans that drives the plot of the game. She is not going to be a playable character in Mortal Kombat 11. I would be surprised if that turned out to be true. First of all, this comes from a scenario artist, and all due respect to the scenario artist, I'm sure she or he is very good at their job, but they may not be in a position to really know one way or the other. Also, while Kronika may not be playable in the initial release of the game, I would be stunned if she wasn't like a DLC character at some point.
Yeah, that would probably be,
unless she's not fightable. If she's just a cutscene character, okay, sure. But if they've programmed an actual fighting character, I would be very surprised if she was not eventually playable.
Yeah, my understanding is that she's the actual final boss of the game, like of the story mode, and yeah, it would be very odd for a fighting game to not let you play that. But again, like with Smash Brothers, the master hands were never meant to be actual playable.
Occasionally, you have bosses that are not balanced.
Galactus in
And
in
Marvel versus
Marvel vs.
Capcom 3,
Capcom 3. Yeah, he's not a playable
or
character.
the Yellow Devil in Mega Man, one of any of the Mega Man games. It's not I'm or even really any of the Robot Masters. Then again, those aren't fighting games, so that's
Yeah.
kind of a dumb one. But
Oh, you
Master
can't
Hand's a good.
play as
Master
Master Hand? Okay. Jack says you can play as Master Hand. I thought it was only
if you
okay.
hack
Yeah,
it,
you have
I
to
don't
hack
think
the
that's
game.
actually. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, unless Kronika is designed as a character who is not balanced to be a fighter, maybe, but she
Yeah.
looks like she's the same physical size as the rest of the characters, and I'd have to see the way she plays first. My guess is she's designed as a fighter and she'll be playable at some point. But, you know.
Yeah, it's possible. I'm trying to think if how many of the have all the other final bosses been playable in the Mortal Kombat series, or at least in
Eventually, yeah.
their game.
Yeah, because well, I mean, not in the original game. You had Goro and Shang Tsung uh, in the first Mortal Kombat, but Shang Tsung wasn't available to play until the second one. I don't remember if
Yeah,
Goro was in the second one or wasn't playable till the third. But Shao Kahn, I don't think, was playable in the second game. He wasn't playable for a while. So in
yeah,
the old games, yeah, that was true. But in the newer games, I think all of the, and I can't remember some of the major bosses, but seems to me they've been playable at least at.
yeah. I think most fighting games these days have the entire cast fully playable.
Mhm. I mean,
Uh,
typically, if you see a character in the cutscene, if they bothered to model the thing and animate it and make it so that the computer can use it, you probably can too, because it's
yeah.
just worth their while to do it that way.
Just for laughs, I want there to be
Mm.
skins based on the live action 90s movie for all the characters.
They did that for Street Fighter, but yeah, they didn't
Well,
have a
Street
Mortal
Fighter
Kombat movie
was Street
edition.
Fighter the movie, the game.
Hmm.
And
Digitized versions of the movie actors.
yeah, and that was a terrible
Very
game.
terrible, yes, but it was pretty hilarious anyway.
Yeah.
What's interesting is Kano who was just announced for Mortal Kombat 11. His design has changed radically and is much more based on Trevor Goddard's portrayal as Kano in the Mortal Kombat movie than the original design of that character.
Yeah.
I mean, the original design was like a bald guy, and Trevor Goddard had hair, so Kano has hair, and he's also, I think, he's either Australian or New Zealand, and
Yeah.
they mimicked that, so that the character in like Mortal Kombat 9, speaks in that same accent. So,
Yeah.
and I see some people are upset about Metro Exodus being a Epic Store
Epic
exclusive.
Store exclusive. Yeah, they had initially launched pre-orders on Steam.
It's certainly a
And
bummer if it's I was going to say, I don't care, but then again, I don't, it's not a game I'm interested in. If it's a
yeah,
game
it's not
you're
one I'm
interested
interested
in
in.
and you don't use Epic Games and you don't really want to download the client for one
Client, yeah.
game, I get how frustrating that must be. But
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
that's
definitely
not the
true.
way it's supposed to be with PC games, darn it. That's why we play, that's why we're PC gamers. So
Yeah.
we don't have to worry about that console exclusivity crap.
Yeah, and that's one of the and the biggest issue with this is that it was announced for Steam. Steam was taking pre-orders, and then it's just a couple of weeks from launch, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, we're PC exclusive with the Epic Store now," and yeah, that's a bum move. I think that's going to hurt them a little bit.
Well,
But
they'll probably be fine because EA probably paid them a lot of money.
oh yeah, yeah, they're definitely getting a lot of money out of that. Not just because the Epic Store is taking they're only taking 12%, I think, is the store's cut, uh, compared to Steam's 30%. So
Yeah. Is the Epic Store still as crap as it was last time I looked? half a
Um,
decade? Because I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's getting better. Lars Doucet of Level Up Labs, he's a developer I follow, and he does a lot of um, he does a lot of writing on game stores and everything. And he just recently wrote a piece about Steam competitors that have just recently come up. You know, Discord, Epic. What was the third? Congregate. Their store cartridge, and he compared just how they're doing, getting the word out and letting people know. And Epic Store is basically doing everything right, essentially, according to him, to actually get a footing and become a good size Steam competitor. So yeah, we might actually see some improvement in the PC game distribution side of things.
Jack muses that competition might get Valve up off its butt and release some new games. He says, Gabe Newell of Valve, he says, I'm 20 now. Where's Half-Life 3? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, maybe Valve could be a competition would inspire it to make more games, or maybe give a damn about the crap that's sold in their store. Like maybe put some time and effort and money into curation and moderation and things like that, so that literally broken games that don't run because there's like no executable aren't sold on the store. And
yeah.
you know, I I don't think anything goes really ever works.
Well, no.
Anything? No, no, not literally anything.
Yeah.
Because when you say anything, that means crap is included, and nobody wants that.
Yeah.
So
Well, and but there's all itch.io is a service that I like.
sure,
But again, because it's anything goes. There's tons and tons of crap on there, but man, is it easy just to, if you made a game, it's super easy to just stick a game on there and post a link somewhere saying, "Hey, if you want to buy my game, here it is." And you don't have to put DRM on it. You don't have to deal with somebody else. Like, you don't even have to give itch.io a cut of the sales if you don't want to. They're like, hey, if you want to give us some money, go ahead, but you don't have to.
kind of
So,
like buying a Humble Bumble and leaving a tip for the humble folks.
yeah, exactly.
So Jordan has an interesting question. It's common to have horror movie characters in Mortal Kombat. Freddy Krueger's been there. The alien from Alien has been in there.
Has
Leatherface,
Jason been in there?
Voorhees, yeah.
Yeah.
So what
They should
character?
have Chucky in there.
I was gonna say he's not Warner Brothers though. So, but I mean, if
I would
you,
just love to see a
it would also be
24-inch
hard.
doll in
Yeah,
there as a viable character, and how they see how they actually balance the fighting between him and the other characters,
yeah.
because
I
it's
mean,
basically everything except for low attacks are going to be useless against them.
yeah. It's funny because the last Mortal Kombat had that it was the big brute with the little girl on his back. I can't remember the character name. It's a really neat design. It was a lot of fun, but it's just without the big dude. you know,
Yeah.
Ash from Evil Dead, sure. Um,
Okay.
Pinhead might work.
Yeah.
If you
Pinhead
want to
could
go
work.
old school and maybe not as recognizable as it would need to be, Pumpkinhead. I've always liked that design. Um,
Yeah.
the big ones have kind of all, Freddy, Jason, and Michael have already, or Michael Myers is not in there.
Yeah. But I don't know. He just doesn't seem
Michael,
like a
well,
character.
his movie just came out, so
Yeah.
the
Jaws.
2018 version, Jaws, just kind of flopping around, biting at you. That's good. Or
uh,
the Megalodon from the Meg is
Meg.
what it's called.
Yeah. Meg. Yeah.
It's just kind of like all you can see is the lower jaw because it's just kind of. Yeah, that's not bad.
Maybe The Thing. Um,
Like which version of it? That well, I guess it could constantly morph.
yeah,
How
yeah.
about some classic
Pennywise.
Universal
There's another.
monsters? Pennywise, that is Warner Brothers. So
Yeah,
I think I mentioned that last week or the week before that I'd put money on Pennywise actually being one of the DLC
yeah.
characters. But how about
You
some of the classic,
classic movie
Dracula, the
monsters.
creature from the
Yeah.
Black Lagoon, Frankenstein's monster, Wolfman?
See,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind actually have a fighting game of just classic horror monsters like
There's
that.
actually a fan indie game that Terror Dome or something like that that has a lot of horror movie monsters. Some newer, some classic.
Yeah,
I think there's two of them actually. I think the first one went with um, like the Freddy Krueger more modern known movies, and the sequel's going for the more uh, Frankenstein's monster, like the Hammer level. Christine, just run over everybody. How about the Blob?
the Blob.
Just kind of
Yeah,
rolls around and smacks you.
yeah.
You know,
They should put the Balrog in there from Lord of the
from Lord of the
Rings.
Rings. Yeah,
Yeah, because that's another
Ridley
Warner
from
Brothers thing.
Metroid. Or is Ridley too big?
Yeah.
A
Yeah. There's lots
Gremlin.
of Predator, the
Okay,
Gremlins. Yeah.
Predator was in there. Um,
Yeah.
Stripe or someone from Gremlins.
Yeah.
That could work. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of things out there
ooh,
that
one of the clowns from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I'd be all over that one. I forget. Oh man, wasn't that an Orion movie? Who owns that property
I
now?
don't know. They should put Santa Claus in there. Just yeah.
Santa, just evil Santa,
No,
like
just
the
good
Silent Night,
Santa.
Deadly Night, or Christmas Evil. One of those Santas. Yeah.
They should throw just do a Santa and a Krampus, and Santa's the light
Yep.
side or the Earth realm side, and Krampus is
Hmm.
the dark realm side or whatever they're called. I forget, but th- uh, put those two in there. I think that would be great. I would love that.
Sam Hain,
uh,
the cloak wearing pumpkin head thing from the real Ghostbusters cartoon,
there we
or
go.
the Boogeyman from the
The
Ghostbusters.
boogeyman. Yeah, the boogeyman. Dr. Frankenstein.
He's like, sit
Frankenstein's
down,
monster.
monster. I'm gonna do this myself. Uh,
Candyman.
Candyman. There you go. And
Yeah.
they're remaking that, so that could work. Although I think that's Dimension or Universal. I forget. I don't think
Yeah.
it's Warner Brothers, but it could be wrong. The creature from Jeepers Creepers. Yeah, I never found that the
I don't know
creature
if I
really
watched
that
that one.
interesting or iconic. So,
Yeah.
um,
I don't
ooh,
get this conversation, but can I participate?
how about a single Krite from Critters? You thought Chucky was waddling around down there, nibbling at your toes.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, I would love that.
The creep.
Um,
That's what it was. Yeah.
yeah.
It's just really a joke. You just step on it, and I mean, it can fire little darts at you and roll around and nom on your toes, and that's about it. Ghost face.
No,
Okay.
ghost face.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's Dimension. Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah. Um, and you take the mask off, and it's Sydney. What a twist! You think they do that after a while? Sydney's the killer because she's just sick of this crap.
Yeah. They should do the that guy in the baby face mask from Happy Death
Happy
Day.
Death Day to you.
Yeah.
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 I have to admit that. It's the It Follows monster.
The girl from The
kidding me?
Ring. Yeah.
Uh, Sadako, is that her name?
I don't remember.
I think they changed her name in the English version to like
Yeah, they
Sakura
did.
or something.
Yeah. But yeah, there's
Leprechaun would actually be pretty funny.
Leprechaun would be funny. Yeah.
Pyramid
Yeah.
Head from Silent Hill. All right.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Cujo.
Who makes Silent Hill? What company is that?
That's Konami.
That's Konami. Okay, so that would have to be a
I think the
licensed deal.
appropriate way
Yeah.
to phrase that question is, who doesn't make Silent Hill?
True. Who doesn't? Um,
Well,
oh,
if we're gonna, Jordan says Ginger Dead Man, which is a great name. How about Jack Frost, the Killer Snowman?
oh, from that
The
movie with
Martian
Michael
leader from
Keaton
Mars
in it.
Attack.
That-
Yeah.
yeah, Martian leader. Yeah.
No, not the Michael Keaton movie, the Killer
There's a difference. There's two different movies you're talking about.
Yes. The Ice Cream Man. Literally Clint Howard.
Has Spawn been in a Mortal
Not
Kombat movie,
Mortal
video
Kombat.
game?
He was in
He was in
Soul
Soul Calibur. Yeah, he was the Xbox exclusive character for
Yeah.
Soul Calibur 2. But has Spawn been in Injustice? No, I don't think he's been an Injustice character.
So. But they are trying still to do a new Spawn movie, so that feels way off to me. So maybe in Mortal Kombat 12.
Yeah, maybe.
A Boo from Super Mario, yeah.
I have a giant.
Just does this every time you face it, but you can't hit it. Your fists just go through it.
Postal dude.
Jack Jordan Thompson has a giant list in front of me that he made for a horror fighting game. So we can just go on and on.
Yeah.
Postal dude. Okay. Yeah. We could do this for hours, but
yeah.
I need to eat. I tried to eat before the I tried to eat before the podcast, but my fish did not thaw in time. So, but it's very thaw now.
All right.
Unlike everyone who doesn't live in, well, basically California. I could complain that it's like really windy and raining, and everyone else would be like, "Yeah, screw you, California boy." I'm like, yeah, it's slightly cold. It's 65 degrees, and they're like, "Yeah, try 65 below zero." Make Cajun food with that fish. I have some cayenne pepper. So, yeah, I like spice to the point that it's flavorful, but right up to where you get to painful, that's where I back out. But I do like I do like a lot of Cajun dishes, so because I find they're hot, but they're still flavorful. But I'm not gonna like nom a jalapeno or a ghost chili or something like that. That's just, I don't need my lips to swell or blister my tongue. Jack Torrance from The Shining. Chaos says it was 17 below on Wednesday and will be 60 on Monday. Yeah, that's Mother Nature's having some major mood swings in various parts of the country.
Yeah.
So I have for those of you who are in some really cold spots, I hope your heating is holding strong, because man, that sounds awful. So, all right, let us get out of here. Andrew Eisen, Eisen, is how you the Crow. Yeah, that's not a bad choice. It's definitely recognizable. Killer Tomato for Attack of the Killer Tomato. That I like. Anyway, Eisen. Plug it into YouTube. You'll find my videos at Andrew Eisen on Twitter. Just want to thank everyone again for all the birthday wishes. Also, one of the videos I'm working on, but haven't had a whole heck of a lot of time to script, because it's been a bear at work recently, and there's not a lot of end in sight, because I don't know if we're going to make Thursday, and if we don't make Thursday, if they manage to, like, okay, the following Thursday, then it's just going to be this for another week. So I don't know when I'll write it, but one of the things I'm working on is the ultimate definition of video game. So now we can actually definitively have an answer to, does this count as a video game or not?
Nice. I'm sure that will not be
Metal,
controversial at all.
Mega
So,
Metal Chase 92. Oh, thank you for the birthday wish. Thank you. Yeah, because I've been working on a definition, because it's an interesting thought exercise. How do you define video game? And I have come up with a solution. So if any of you have your own working definitions for video game, tweet it at me, Alan. I'd be interested to know. And I do say that, the definitive definition. I do say that, facetiously. It's just me trying to come up with a way to define what a video game is that's inclusive of everything I subjectively identify as a video game, and excluding all that crap that I don't think counts. So,
nice.
Jax says, how do you define a good video game? Well, that's another story.
Yeah.
Defining what a video game is should not be a judge of its quality. Much like the argument of what is art. The people are like, video games are not art. It's like, I think you're confusing art with a judgment of quality, because you can have crappy art. It's still art. It's just crap.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so that's one of the things maybe I'll have time to put a debut review together. I hate doing like 3 of those in a row, but I can produce them much quicker. So anyway, Zachary, plug away.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at Easy Night, where I talk about gaming and politics and other things. And that's Easy Night on Twitter. If you're interested in my game development stuff, you can check out OK Game or DK_gaming on Twitter, DivineKnightGaming.com. And if you're interested in the Oklahoma game development scene, check out OK Game Devs on Twitter and OKGameDev.com.
All right. You've been listening to the 132nd episode of Molehill Mountain. Thank you. So we'll see y'all next week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.